Hey guys, welcome to another episode of That Korexican Guy. Today I have Zharbs with me from Tamara.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm pleasant. I'm amazing.
Oh boy.
Doing well.
Yeah, so he's the lead guitarist, the lead guitarist and the rhythm, everything guitar.
I would like to just be the rhythm. That's all I want to be.
Well, you guys did have a second guitarist for a short while.
We've had a couple second guitar players, and then
They always like something happens, life happens, they move on to something else. I mean,
you can't be that upset.
Yeah,
but also
would have been nice if you kept them.
I have to do all the lead parts.
It's interesting, like doing live shows too.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, we are messing around with like backing tracks, and being able to use those and.
But it would be nice if you had that other body just actually playing it versus having to have that track in the background.
It would be a lot easier. It would be a lot easier.
I mean, if anybody's actually been to any of their shows, you can see Chris, like, before they even start a song, before he starts doing the drums, he's playing with the computer for that purpose.
Yeah, it's like off to a side, and he starts the track, and
then you guys, tick, tick, boom, go, let's go.
Well, he's the only one that can hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear the overhead, but like we follow him because he's on.
You have to, because he's the drummer. That's the whole point.
Right.
Of the drummer.
So it's like,
and then so you have Evan follow him because he's also part of the backbone in terms of keeping the beat and everything. Because is a lot simpler than doing a guitar.
I mean, drum and bass are like the rhythm.
They go hand in hand.
Yes, they're the rhythm section.
Oh boy! I mean, I know you guys have a new album eventually coming out soon. It was supposed to come out in May. The EP was supposed to originally come out in May, but as we know, COVID and everything struck and just kind of didn't happen. Well, it was actually April, wasn't it? You guys
it was May.
May?
I believe it was May.
Because you guys were going to do the festival and then do the show, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, our first festival show, and then it was just like COVID, and it was like, never mind.
Like, man.
Yeah. Oh, that kicked us in the nuts pretty hard.
For any local, like, small town musician, it hit hard, really bad.
Yeah.
But for today, we'll talk about the EP that's actually out that everybody can get, if they contact you or whatever.
Before It All Went Quiet?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I know that you were the mastermind behind the theme of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse for this. Like, what inspired you, other than obviously knowing about from the Bible, but are you religious yourself? That's why.
I used to be. I am no longer. I just kind of like left it behind, gracefully, if you will. No, I haven't read all of the Bible, but like growing up, like I went to church and I learned the stories and stuff like that, and I always thought it was interesting, like it was cool. And then like the last book of the Bible is Revelations. And talks about the 4 horsemen, the end of the world.
This is metal as fuck.
It is. No, yeah. I read it. And I was like, that's metal as fuck. I want to write a song about that now. And so it did. The whole EP itself started with the song "The Last God." I wrote it about just kind of like different values, if you will, of addiction. And I say values of like you have drug addiction, you have
gambling addiction,
everything, any
addiction
sort,
that's negative.
Yeah, it's just really just any whatever is your vice.
Yes,
is
that's
for
the
that
word we're looking for.
Yeah, vice, right. And so it started with that, and then I wrote that song, and then I wrote "Face of God." It honestly went backwards. It was "Last God," "Face of God," "Hand of God," and "Face of God" was a song that's actually pre-Bible. It's called the Book of Enoch.
I've heard about it. I've never actually read about it. People talk about it. Just like people talk about it. There's a Book of Lilith too.
Yeah. And so I've actually never read the actual book. I just like read snippets and like the ideas from the book. And essentially, so Enoch was a character who was essentially the scribe of God.
Okay.
God was like, "Hey, I like you. I'm just gonna take you." Like he didn't die. He was just God was just like, "And you're mine now." And in the book of Enoch, it talks about when God took him. He kind of just like it was kind of like a psychedelic experience. Like he took him up to heaven and showed him what heaven looked like, and then he showed him the mountains in which. So I'm backtracking here. I apologize. So there's another part of the story where they talk about these giants called Nephilim.
Yeah.
These like bloodthirsty giants.
Yeah, which is a mixture of if angels have a kid with a human, they become Nephilims.
Right.
And that's actually a theme that they like kind of sort of touched up on the show Supernatural.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
And it's just different. I mean, they had to, like, they can't do the same. Obviously, if they had a giant world destroying, it's kind of like it's a short episode,
Yeah, right. So in the song, I wrote lyrics of things called Watchers, and Watchers were angels that God was like, "Hey, I assign you people to just watch over humans. That's the only assignment I give you. Don't do anything else. Just watch what they do." And some of those angels were like, "Ooh, women are hot. I want to have sex with you," and they did. And then you have the Nephilim, and then they ate and destroyed and killed like everything. God was like, "Well, because you did that, I'm going to banish you all now into hell." And then that was like the fall of Lucifer and his angels and his friends. And so
the whole like Lucifer thing has like so many different like takes on it, versions.
There's like Lucifer, there's Satan, they're two different people, I guess.
Sometimes they're two different, but usually it's just Satan's just another word for Lucifer.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing is interesting, and I like how even in anime they delve into like some animes talk about them, and they do separate them sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and so Lucifer, the actual meaning behind the word Lucifer is something like bringer of light.
Yeah.
And it was just like, God's like, nope.
That's why they call him the Morning Star.
Is it? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Lucifer the Morning Star. And they even talk about that in the show Lucifer. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's on Netflix now.
I want to watch it.
It's actually the new season's coming out soon. Hopefully, I think it's soon. And I've watched all of it so far, and it's really good.
How many seasons?
I think there's 4 seasons out right now.
Dang, girl.
It's good.
That's awesome.
And then Netflix took over because it was canceled on its original. I think it was CBS or something.
Oh, and then Netflix was like, "Yeah, we can take you."
Yeah, we'll take you.
So yeah, and then so the lyrics themselves were just that story, and then later in the book, it talks about really like it was more of like an elaborate story of like Genesis, like the first sentence or whatever is like, God took 7 days to make the earth, and so it really went through like the wind goes this way and then it comes out this gate. It was super depictionated, if that's a word.
Well, I mean, I guess the idea of like writing the Bible in the beginning was to make it as simple as possible because people were dumb and they're still dumb.
They just didn't have the correct scientific information.
Well, and the fact that I'm sure that the original writing of the Bible is still like our translation of it is still not 100% correct.
Yeah, they use like sentences and words like thee and thy and.
Well, not just that. That's like the King James version of.
Yeah.
That.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about like the original language that they originally recorded in Aramaic, I think.
Was it?
So when you watch like
when does Hebrew come in? Or
that's like the archaic version of Hebrew, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like when you watch like the Passion of the Christ, they use that language.
Oh, that's cool. I've actually never seen that movie.
And it's funny, like every time people like watch like when you make movies and it's about blood and stuff, usually like it's all like a fake skin and fake blood, but that scene where they're whipping the guy, he actually got hit a few times. And
did he?
Yeah, so like some of the scars are real. It's the same thing as the idea of when...
I apologize for laughing, but that's like...
when Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son was
Oh,
killed.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that was like a real bullet.
Yeah.
They accidentally gave him the wrong gun.
Or
didn't empty it.
We don't know the true story, like 100%. It's all speculation at this point, from what I understand. Mm-hmm. And then that whole scene where he was dying in the movie, he was actually dying.
What movie was that again?
The Crow.
Oh, no shit. I've only seen that movie once, and it was in like parts. Like I paused,
right,
left.
So the first movie is just him, and then they had, obviously, with the sequels, they hired somebody else to play the Crow.
I've only seen the first
I think
one.
they have 3 movies. I know there's 2 for sure, but I think there was a third one that went straight to, tape type of deal.
Wild.
I have to milk that for all they can,
Yeah, sure. I guess.
I mean, look at like the Despicable Me. Like they had Despicable Me 1, 2. They have a third one, I think. Also, and Minions.
They actually had a movie just Minions.
Yeah.
So funny story about, I shouldn't say story, but like, how do you get out there? So if you take the Wisconsin Bridge and you just drive on that highway for like ever, whatever family or farm is out there, they have like a bay of hail, my God, a bale of hay.
Yep.
And it's like sitting on like the plateau. No, that's the wrong word. You know that like hill that you can like pass, whatever. But they like colored it in the minion. It looks like a minion. It's just like chilling on the side. It's like you pass and you're like, yeah, that's funny, And
I'm like, oh, this is getting old now.
I haven't been through since, so I don't know if they still have it up.
Maybe they changed it. Who knows?
Based on season.
Like going back to the album. So talking about Enoch and
so with the second song, Face of God, there's a part in the song where it's like this really long part, and it's in 7/8 time signature, and my idea was to make it sound like wind.
I guess that makes sense. Like thinking about myself, I've listened to it so much at this point.
Yeah, it's like that, and so I try to make it sound like wind. So based on that part, I was saying about the wind, how it went in through this gate and then came out this gate, and it was this whole breakdown of how wind works without science, and it was just like, all right, I think that'd be a cool idea. And then we come back and to the chorus of, I forget the chorus lyrics now, but
science, you're a witch.
Yeah, right for real. And then so with all those songs, and then with Hand of God, obviously is about the 4 horsemen.
I mean, that's a blatant right there. Like you did about the 3 of them because you couldn't really fit in the 4th one.
So the way I thought about it was we did all 4. The actual first track of the EP is like a vocal,
right?
That we had Chris do, and we tried to have him emulate like one of those like televangelists.
Yeah.
And he was talking about disease and crop failure and essentially pestilence, and so that was kind of like our idea of like using. I
mean, unless they have the EP and actually listen to the intro, they won't really get it.
Yeah, it's more of just like
all the times, like at least for me personally, like I've done in the past, like if it's just an intro and I hear it, there's no music, I skip it.
Sure, it was just more of like when we wrote Hand of God, it was like, how the fuck do we fit all 4 of these right now? Like, I feel like I couldn't, and then it was just the idea of, well, why don't we do like a voiceover, and have like the idea of like pestilence be the first thing because he was the first seal to be broken,
right?
And then in order we did the horsemen as they came,
right?
And then there's a couple of riffs in there that we try to throw in to make it like use the other 7 or the other 3
so man, what I liked about this, like after like doing what I've done with the song so far, like listening to it so many, like I like how actually only a small portion of it is lyrics and the rest of it is supposed to be give you the emotion that they're supposed to have, that emotion of
that's the idea, is like, so the
everything's like dying out, especially if you like listen to it all the way through to the end. You hear the screams, everybody's dying, the rapture is here.
Yeah, exactly. The part in the song where it says, I am death. Dun dun da 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 da.
I'm not thinking even beyond that. Just,
No, but
just yeah.
So the sixth seal, I believe, was like an earthquake, like swept through Earth or whatever the hell it was, and so that riff was supposed to be that earthquake that swept through the Earth, and so that's our idea of trying to like incorporate all the seals,
right,
and whatnot. So, and then the way we actually tracked it, like in order of like Hand of God was first, Face of God was second, Last God was third, was we gave you the end story first, and then we gave you the actual prequel of the entire thing.
It's kind of like what they do with a lot of movies. Like you see like the base action, the part that you really want to see. Like, let me take you back to the beginning,
right, and have you lead up, and then Last God was like a modern take on just society.
Yeah,
and it was so it started from the end to beginning, and then now you have now, and that was kind of like our thoughts of like how we wanted to build that EP.
So all in all, like I know you said, you know, basing it off Revelations, based off the Book of Enoch and stuff. Like, did you how much research did you do before putting pen to paper? And how long did it all take for you? Would you say?
That was it wasn't intentional.
No.
To actually, there was no intention to like write these songs the way they were. I was just interested in religion and the idea of like what it was, and to actually like break it down. Of like everybody, like, because I've heard like, again, I was born into a Catholic home, and I was raised that way, and that's fine. I learned all this stuff, and then I've heard other people talk about religion of like, it's bullshit, blah blah blah, and I'm look into this part, and looking into this part. I'm like, all right, I will. I'll dive in and see what's up, and then I researched that, and then the Book of Enoch actually is part of a what do you call it? White magic, if you will. It's called Enochian.
Yeah.
You've heard of that? Yeah. So I just, for shits and giggles, dove into that for fun to like research it and know about it, and then I, through that research, found the Book of Enoch, and I was like, that'd be a cool song to write.
Well, because like there's actually people with like, even my ex has a tattoo of like an Enochian symbol as well.
I have a little thing that hangs from my rearview mirror.
But I think she had put it on her hand. I forget.
It was a supernatural thing?
No, it's like she was into this stuff before I met her, and before I guess before she even watched it. But I learned it from Supernatural personally.
Yeah, same.
I probably I know I've seen stuff about it before because I'm into weird shit.
The pentagram has been around for like how long?
Well, and the funny thing is that the pentagram and the Star of David is always confused. They get confused with each other.
How?
Because if you just look at the Star of David and without the circle, people are like, oh, that's the pentagram. It's very it's the way they look similar if you look at it. If you do like a basic drawing of it, most people then they do the pentagram, they make it more demonic.
Well, there's like the upright pentagram, and then there's like the inverted pentagram, and that's like the invert is like the demonic one. Right.
Well, it's supposed to be just if it's upright, it's supposed to be just called the Star of David.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
But people call it the pentagram, thinking that's the symbol of devil worshiping. But most of the time, to help prevent confusion, if somebody does a drawing of it, they'll have a picture of Baphomet in the middle.
Oh, to be like, no, this is what we're talking about.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So, there's that. So how long did it take you guys from start to finish
to write the whole thing?
From pen to paper, and for the realization hey, everybody's down with this, everybody's into it, and then I know it's usually a long process. Music is a long process.
For this one, the actual process of getting the songs together, from the moment we were hey, we're gonna write a second EP.
That was a given, regardless.
Well, we're right, but when we all decided we're gonna write a second EP, it was just well, I already have 2 songs for it, and it was The Last God and Hand of God, or Face of God. We just didn't have another song yet.
Right.
And so when I went to college, I wrote Last God and Hand of God like in my apartment.
Okay.
And that was like...
So that was like a thing that you already had.
Yeah, like I just had
a brainchild from a long time ago.
Yeah, I just had it in my pocket, and I was just like, well, I have these songs, here you go. And then it was just like, well...
So then how, like, so with Hand, so you had Last and you had Hand.
Yeah.
Or Face, or did you have Face?
We had Last and Face.
So how long did it take you to come up with Hand?
Honestly, that was kind of like a...
Or
if memory serves correct, it was, all right, we have to write at least one more song. What do we got? And I was like, well, I got these couple of riffs. let's put these together. And then we kind of like, Chris had an idea, I had an idea. Let's put it here. Let's elongate this. Because like when I presented the idea for Hand of God, it was like, all right, we have to build it like this.
Okay.
I have these 5 riffs, but these 5 riffs have to be... And then what was really cool, and I think this is the coolest part about the whole EP, was when we came up with the lyrics for Hand of God. Like I already had like a whole list of lyrics like in my phone of like just these are just ideas, and then we actually sat down and went through each idea, and then we kind of like compressed them of like, here's this part, then here's this part, and then here's this part, and we all sat around the table of like, all right, so Evan has this idea, let's use it. Or Chris has this idea. Does that sound good? Yes, awesome. And then,
it's like, yeah, it kind of reminds like, I don't know if you like were doing like social media when Zanga was around. So that was just like Live Journal and other thing. It was like just blogs basically. And when I was starting to get into playing drums and getting into like actually creating music, I actually had a page just dedicated to different songs I wrote.
Nice.
They're very cheesy and...
Do you still have them?
That page is down. It's gone.
But you have no other recording?
No record of it, because that was on my old computer that I no longer have.
And
they were just like thinking about it, like, man, I was an emo bitch.
What? All right.
That was my like super emo phase right there. Boom.
What were the titles of the songs?
I don't like. There's like one of them like so. There was a couple of them when I was like trying to like become a part of this like this youth group, help them out, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So there's a couple of like Christian-y songs, like whatever. That's a dark part of my past. But mostly just getting the girl. That's typical.
Like the high school,
yeah,
like Paramore, like shit.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Yes.
Well, like, and there was stuff about high school too. Like, my thing was like my take on life was, I didn't finish high school at a school. I did it online.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I didn't have all those experiences that you'd had. Everybody else usually has.
You didn't want to do it. It was terrible.
You say it now, but it's good that you have that, and you have that in your bank.
Fair.
So I didn't have a prom. I didn't have homecomings. I didn't do any of that stuff. I did everything at home. Because the big thing was my parents didn't want to send me back to California to live with my relatives out there. There was a whole thing between my parents and my dad's family.
Okay. So at that time, were you in New York then?
I was in South Korea at the time.
Oh, you were still in South. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So my dad had gotten out of the military. He retired, so we couldn't go on the school on the base anymore because instead of it being free, we had to pay. They would have to pay $15,000 a year per kid. So those schools, those military schools on the military bases, are considered private schools. So they're held to a higher standard.
I mean, I went to private schools like.
But they were free if you were in the military, obviously. So instead of doing that, they found a cheaper option. It's still accredited and everything. So it was an international Christian school in Uijeongbu in South Korea. And I was first like, okay, whatever. I'll wear uniforms. I've dated girls that wear school uniforms. Cool, whatever. Go there, and every morning, first period, Bible class. No. Every Wednesday, chapel.
You had to go to the chapel?
They have their own chapel specifically for this.
Of course they do.
I was like, and I was in ninth grade. I was a piece of shit teenager, rebelling. So instead of going to first period, I would stay at the arcade near the train station before I left So I lived in Seoul. The Ouija was about an hour and a half away to take my train to where I needed to go.
To the school?
Yeah.
No shit.
That was the cheapest option. My parents obviously weren't rich, being in the military and everything, whatever. So I'd spend the first half of the first period would have been the first period. Stayed there playing a game called Pump It Up, which is like DDR, but the corners in the middle. I got really good.
The corners in the middle.
So in DDR,
like Dance Dance Revolution.
Dance Dance Revolution is up, down, left, right? So instead of that, you have the corners to step on.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And the middle as well. And it's actually, if you actually I never played DDR before that, but I played this, and playing this, it seemed natural because when you're actually dancing, you're actually moving your body, you're sliding your feet and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, in Dance Dance Revolution, you're like.
Dude, we had Dance Dance Revolution. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
We had Dance Dance Revolution, but we had the actual foldable pad.
Oh, that's even worse.
That you could plug into the as a controller.
Yeah, that sucks.
Dude, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Unless you had some sort of rubber pad underneath it.
No, it was just carpet.
It slid all the time, didn't it?
I actually don't remember, but I just remember it wasn't it was not graceful. It was just thump, bump, bump. You barely moved. It was just you moved your feet to the arrow.
But sometimes because especially when you play on the carpet with it sliding, you think you pressed it, but you fucking didn't. You pressed circle.
You fucking didn't.
And then you fucking failed.
Instead of the arrow, you're just pressing circle the whole time.
Yeah. No, what did I do it? Why is it pausing?
Are they booing you at the same? In the Guitar Hero, how when you start fucking up and there's boo.
It's similar. So Pump It Up is a Korean-made game, obviously. So
sure.
It's in South Korea. I mean, with it, Korea being right next to Japan, there's a lot of Japanese arcade games there too. But that helped boost the whole idea of me liking K-pop because that's all you play to really. Is K-pop.
Oh, is it the music?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did ninth grade twice.
I should have.
I failed both times. I was rebelling in both years.
So wait, did you do ninth grade 3 times? Or
no, I went to summer school. After this, we went to visit family in California. I forgot why we were there. I just know we were there for something. So I went to summer school, and that was enough for me to finish ninth grade.
Oh, okay.
Because since I did ninth grade twice, why are we gonna make him do a fucking third time?
I also had to do summer school.
That was the first and last time I ever did summer school, and that was the last time I went to a school for school.
Wait, what?
After that summer, I went back home to visit. So I was gonna go home. My mom came again to visit to check on our storage unit that we have in California. Mm-hmm. Brought my cousin and my aunt so they can visit and see California.
Oh,
for
sure.
the first time and everything. We took him to the mall in Mexico because where my grandmother lived at the time was pretty close to the border. 30-minute drive and you're there.
Were you able to get, back then, were you able to get in, just drive up into Mexico, or is it
So we would park in America. We would park on the American side.
Sure.
Walk through the gates, and then walk back.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, as long as you have your passport, you're fine. You're fine.
You just can't waltz up into Mexico.
You can just waltz up into Mexico. It's just coming back. If you don't have your passport, you're
not
fucked.
Gonna let you
It's like,
no,
are you here bringing drugs? You're fucking arrested now.
Yeah, you can go into Mexico. It's just as long as they'll let you back in. I don't know.
Because in Mexico, they don't care if you go there. They want people there, Especially the cartel. Why wouldn't the cartel want more bodies to do their bidding?
That's a good question. I think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Free labor.
My first shrimp cocktail was in Mexico. It was amazing.
I was just going to ask, was that good?
Yes.
Shrimp cocktail?
Yeah.
Oh, did you eat the shrimp?
Yeah, of course.
Was it like soaked in the?
Yeah,
I
so they
have
had,
no
like,
clue what a shrimp cocktail
So
looks
that
like.
so they, this one was like in like so when you have, let's say, like a appletini, one of those kind of glasses, it's a martini glass.
Oh yeah.
And they put the sauce in the middle and the shrimps hanging off of it.
Yeah.
That was my first one. I obviously had the kid version because there was no, like, so I think they add alcohol in the adult version of shrimp cocktails.
The kitty cocktail.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just like, my first, but it's funny. So my first actual alcoholic drink was when I was like 12, 13 years old.
Oh shit.
Because it's like living in South Korea, uncle, like Korean family is like, hey, just one drink, you'll be fine. Homemade grape wine.
Your uncle made homemade grape wine.
Like Korean grape wine. It's a little bit different. So it's like, yeah, have this. Like, I'm like, no, I don't want alcohol. Because at the time, like, fuck that shit. I don't care. It tastes horrible. It
tastes. Yeah.
Like, even now, alcohol tastes horrible, but it's the feeling you get from it. Is what drives people.
I don't know, man.
It depends on what you get. So if you get bottom shelf, it's gonna taste like shit.
I don't know. What do you call beer? Like Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. That's
Are
bottom
you
shelf
gonna
beer.
get like hit with like ads if I show this or no?
No.
Okay, like.
No. But beer is different. Like, so with beer, you have actual like flavors in there, like
hops
and everything
yeah.
is there. And then if you drink light beer, it's actually, as long as you don't drink a 12K, a pack of 12 every day, you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're gonna be hurting.
Yeah. And I used to, like, as a teenager, so going with the alcohol themes, like in South Korea, at least at the time, as long as you had money, they don't card you.
Seriously?
So I would get drunk every weekend.
At what age?
15, 16, 17, yeah.
You can just walk. They're
Go to
like,
the
oh, you
bar.
have money? Cool, here you go.
So I was like, hey, I'm gonna get a pitcher of beer. That's 10,000 won, which is like about, at the time, like $9.70.
For a pitcher?
Yeah.
Damn. Kind of expensive for a bar.
But I didn't pay for it. I never, at the time, I never paid for alcohol. I always had somebody else would always buy it for me.
Oh, you would just like...
By the time I showed up, people were already drunk.
You're like, nice.
And that wasn't my intention. Like, I have money. Oh, you want to buy it for me? Put the money back in.
Put the money back in.
I mean, as a teen, like in South Korea, getting a job is like on the military base a lot harder than getting a job out here in the States. Like, for a teenager.
That makes sense. Would you
because they have like these rules, like especially for the military bases out like overseas, you have to have so many of the local population working at certain jobs on the base as an agreement for having your base there.
Oh, fair.
I mean, we're taking up their land that they could
right,
have
like
houses, they could have department stores and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
And that's why like one of the bigger bases in South Korea actually is closed, it's gone now. And that's where I went to school for middle school.
You can say that now.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I went somewhere that is now no longer there.
Exactly. And it was actually like watching like people, like the people who were still in South Korea that I knew, like having seen the videos, seeing pictures, like, God, I made out with that chick there. Made out with that chick there. I remember skipping class and going that direction.
Do you still have any of these photos?
Like of my past? No. Somebody might have it somewhere.
Did you burn it all?
No, it was before like digital cameras were like really a thing.
Oh, fair.
Either you were rich or you didn't have it. I'll show you. I won't put it up on the screen for you to see.
Yeah, that's fine.
So one of the pictures I have, you may have seen it. It's on my photo stuff. This was me in high school.
And where is this?
That's on that military base.
That's in South Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How old were you?
17 or 18.
That's hilarious. None of you get to see this.
That was me.
Are you in the middle?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's my brother up there. That was before 6th grade.
That's hilarious.
That was when we were moving to South Korea, like for good. So we went to South Korea twice before that because my grandfather had passed away. So we went there for his funeral and did all that.
Where did you?
We were living in Germany before South Korea.
No shit.
Being a military brat has some perks.
Yeah, fair. You move around, yeah.
But the downside to that is that, especially like being a kid from the '90s, you don't keep friends.
Oh yeah, it's just like, hey, bye. Hopefully, I get to see you.
Yes, unless you have their address and were writing letters to each other and keeping each other updated. That was it. You left and you're.
All right, now let me ask you this: because we're in this age of technology now, have you found any of?
I tried once, like with one name that I remembered from Germany, but that name is so common. I've talked to so many of them. Like, nope, I never lived in Germany. All of them.
No.
So for all I know, this person could be dead. Anything's possible, right?
As a drastic
it's like
measure.
the worst of the worst, he's dead. The other negative, he just doesn't give a fuck about social media.
Or he's also just still living in Germany.
Maybe, but I think there's only going to be like, at this point, I think there's only one base left there.
Oh, true. So they.
I think we're like fully pulling out soon.
Yeah. Are they really? Like America is?
Yeah. I mean, we're at a point where we don't need to be there anymore.
True.
I mean, yes, we definitely needed to be. I was actually in Germany when the Berlin Wall fell.
Were you really? Were you like?
So the Berlin Wall fell in, I think, 88. '91. In 90, so I was 5 years old.
Wow.
I was there. I was there as so like.
Wait, like, did your parents actually take you to?
We didn't go to the wall. I was living in Germany.
But
so
yeah, okay.
So the idea that I was in that country when that event took place.
That's nuts.
My brother was 2 years old.
You get to say that.
Yes.
How cool is that?
Yes, that's how old I am.
I didn't mean it in that way. I'm just saying,
so I'm that old. Yeah, so it was demolished in '89. But yeah, so it's crazy thinking about it. You know,
right?
It was a few days. My birthday is November 6th. That was 3 days after my birthday. After my 4th birthday.
You get to say that, like
yeah.
you get to have
so
that.
So obviously, I didn't care. I'm a
sure,
little kid.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm a little kid. We were living in Heidelberg in an apartment building. So it was a military apartment complex that they had there. You know?
Sure.
I mean, it was a pretty big apartment, you know.
Well, I mean, it's like on a military base.
Yeah. And that was when I first played the NES. So my dad had bought it. It eventually became mine because I became obsessed with video games after he bought it. But he really bought it for himself.
That's awesome.
He'll never admit it. My parents will never admit. I know. He bought it for himself. Like, if it wasn't for him, I would never have played Doom. The original Doom. And it's funny, like thinking back, like when he plays video games, like Doom or Quake or whatever. He's like, God, you rat bastard! He's like,
he's sitting with the controller.
Well, with the mouse and keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Or at the time, there was no mouse. Like Doom wasn't a mouse keyboard. You play with this, and then you shoot with control and shift as jump.
Was it like ASD or whatever?
Right here, actual arrows.
Right, but like, didn't you have the actual like moving controls or whatever?
Yeah, so that's it. That right there.
But then like the actual like.
So WASD is more of a modern thing.
I gotcha.
So back then, you know, because most games were 2D platformers.
Okay.
Like the original Duke Nukem was a 2D platformer.
Okay, I have no clue what that means.
So you know, like Super Mario World.
Oh, okay. So it's just like moving from.
Boop, boop,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So Duke Nukem was like that too, except violent. You know,
except you're shooting at stuff like
Contra. It was like the PC's call for Contra. You had NES had Contra. You ever play that one?
I am not a video game person.
Well, so you had.
I play Minecraft.
So to play old school video games, like if you had before Windows, even before Windows with 3.1, before Windows 95, all that, you played with the up, down, left, right, and then control was shoot, and yeah, space for that. That was your controls. That was it.
No shit.
And obviously, you had your hotkeys for your weapons.
Okay.
So 1, 2. I think it was like you have 6 weapons and.
Are your hotkeys like the F or the?
No, so just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh,
for the
okay.
weapons, so you can switch weapons.
Were you able to like go into options and be like, I want letter A to be this, or
You could, but no one did.
fair.
And it was comfortable.
But the option was there.
Yeah,
Though.
because I mean there was really no need for it because we didn't use mouse for gaming.
Fair. Yeah.
So Doom was quasi 3D, so it wasn't real 3D. So you can't move, you can't look up and down. So whenever you're shooting, it auto targets. So if they're on a higher plane, it just shoots up there for you.
Right.
So it was so who would play games like that, like, die you rat bastard.
You played on a computer?
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, so we've like, computers have been a part of my life since I was born, pretty much. We had the Apple II, which you'd have to have actual floppy, 5.25 floppy disk.
Oh, like yeah.
You know, you put it in there, close it, and then you had to press like the Apple button, the shift, the control, the all, and then 1 or something, just to boot up that little floppy drive. Because there was no operating system. When you turn on your Apple II, it's just beep, 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 little. So you had 2 lines. I think it was a green. The screen was, the background of the screen was green. 2 white lines, a little thing in the middle going back and forth, waiting for you to insert a disc and to put the commands in so you could actually play something.
No shit.
That's how archaic it was. Same thing with like the Commodore 64 and other like consoles like that, you know. It was weird.
So are, as a question, because I don't know, are computers pre like internet?
Yeah.
And it sounds like a dumb question, but like
Yeah.
I just don't know these things.
Well, internet was a new concept for us when we moved to Korea or Germany.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
we didn't have. So we had dial-up internet in Korea or in Germany at one point, I think. I remember. So like when I first played the Diablo demo.
Diablo's that old?
Yeah, it was dial-up
Whoa.
internet old.
Whoa, my friend had me play Diablo 3.
So when the first Diablo game that came out, to get the demo, I think the size of the demo was maybe like 6 or 7 megabytes.
Okay.
Which is very small now. You go online. You
what is it, terabytes now or some crazy
shit?
You
download it. If you were to download that demo now, it would take you a second, and it's there. Right? So,
sure.
But back then, it took 3 days to download.
No shit.
I'm probably exaggerating it, but it took a very long time to download.
Yeah, back then it was like probably 45 minutes.
And so what sucks, like, just downloading that, our phone bill went up like crazy.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, because it was part of the phone dial-up. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's crazy when you think back about that. You know, like even like using the internet on phones, like cell phones.
Yeah.
That was super expensive.
My
ex-girlfriend, she accidentally left her phone with me after our date. I was like, oh shit, I have her phone. I'm on the train. I'm bored. I'm gonna go online and do some stuff. Go look at stuff. I didn't know. I didn't think.
Oh
about
yeah.
That. Her phone bill was $200.
No way.
And I was only on that thing for 30 minutes. Just I was doing that while I was going home.
I remember when my parents got me my first cell phone, and of course they had the internet option. Like you could go on the internet if you wanted to.
Right.
And they always said, never, ever, ever.
If you want to live to see the next day.
Yeah. It was always like, just don't fucking do it. And like you would accidentally hit the internet button. You're like,
fuck
no! And you get out of it. You're like, all right, cool. We're good. We're good.
And then now you get a plan. Internet's free, basically. You go on there. Unlimited. It's not free, but unlimited.
Right.
Yeah, unlimited. And I think so. It's even better in South Korea. So phone plans, internet plans, cheaper and faster.
Are they really?
So I pay $45 a month right now for my internet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good for here, especially because we have very limited choices in this small little town of ours. So we have, Comelec, we have CenturyLink, and we have Mediacom. Mediacom charges you if you go over a bandwidth. Like, I never heard of that until I moved to Dubuque.
A bandwidth.
Like so, let's say it's just the amount of time you're online. So like, if you watch 100 videos, and let's say those videos are 500 megabytes each, you're using bandwidth to watch it. So if
you go over that width, they'll charge you for it?
Yeah, so if you go over, let's say the basic plan is if you have up to 500 gigabytes that you can use under this X amount of dollars you pay per month. If you go over that, every 50 gigabytes or whatever is additional money.
That's wild.
And I was like, okay, whatever. At the time when I had Mediacom, I was barely home.
So you didn't worry about it.
I didn't until the bill came.
Oh.
Nobody was on. A computer was off. Nobody was home. How am I getting overage charges? Nobody's on my internet. I know what I'm doing when it comes to security with the routers and stuff. Basically, they said, not my problem. Go fuck yourself.
The company did?
Not in those words, obviously.
Well, yeah, not in those words, but they
basically, yes. So it's like,
there were no help.
Yeah, so I told them, unless you fix this, I'm not paying for this.
Good for you.
And so eventually went to collections and hit my credit score, whatever. And then
they called your bluff. They're like, no.
I said, I don't care. And after 10 years, the statute of limitations, it goes away. They can't do anything about it. I think it's been like 4 years, but I disputed it with the credit bureaus, and they took it off. It was gone. What kind of scumbag during this, our current recession, during COVID, says, "Oh, we still want that money"?
When did this happen?
So I was living in Solon, so 5 years ago.
Solon, Iowa?
Solon Street.
Oh. I was thinking of
Solon, yeah.
Okay.
People usually drive by. Through
Is that the old house?
Yeah, the first place you ever went to.
Yeah. Okay.
I was living there.
Oh wow, that's like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Well, when you came, yes, it was about 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
At that point. I was living there for 4 years, I think.
Okay. And then this isn't.
I've been here since this place. I've been here since March.
No, I'm sorry. When that incident happened.
Yeah, that was after 6 months of being there.
Oh, that was okay.
The very beginning, before I knew any of you guys.
Jesus.
Didn't know. So I knew you guys. I sort of knew you guys existed because of. I keep forgetting his name. The one that looks like he's twitching all the time. He's always at your shows. Like, hey, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I forget his name.
But yeah, you guys always expect him to be there because he supports you guys.
He's such a big metalhead.
Yeah.
He goes to a lot of.
But because the way he is.
He is just whatever, however his body and whatever he's got.
Whatever he's going through, whatever. I mean, he's a cool guy, but it's just like
he just got that thing.
I'm on the bus with Luca, take him to daycare and everything, and then eventually I get back on the bus to go to work. Mm-hmm. I don't want to fucking talk to you. I'm trying to relax before I have to deal with my 9 to 5 daily grind.
And you know what? Not even with him, just anybody.
Yeah,
just dude, I would just like to be alone.
I have my headphones on, but that's an indication. Don't talk to me, right? Typically, that's a universal sign of don't talk to me. But he's the type of person hey man, what's up?
And I think that's just a social.
I don't think he understands. Yeah.
I
don't think he knows those social cues.
Hey
man, what's up?
Cues.
You ever heard of this band?
Yeah.
You ever heard of this band? Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, that's so metal. Ha! I'm not trying to make fun of him.
No, and that's
just how he is.
I don't. Yeah, that's just.
Yeah, eventually I start talking to him every once in a while, but then he keeps going on and on about stuff I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
He gets at first, at the beginning of the conversations, he's always, you hear him, you understand, and then it kind of keeps droning on, what?
I think halfway through...
He loses his thoughts, his train of thought, or what he was...
Yeah, he's got it, it's half, he expects you to understand the conversation that he's having in his head.
So I feel like maybe...
Not a conversation that he's having with himself, but he expects you to...
So I don't know him personally, but it's like from my past experience with other people who are autistic. I feel like maybe he might be.
Do you think do you think so? I don't think so.
Or like, or maybe he has a severe case of ADHD.
That or like, I know people who know him that could tell us who or what the thing he's got, but because I know people who know him, and he's got they've told me what it was, and I forgot what it was.
But I love it.
Whatever quirk
right.
quirk, but whatever he's got is.
So like every time I'm there at the shows, especially at the lift, and then I'm recording you guys, every time he shows up, you know there's gonna be a mosh pit.
Oh, dude, he's in it, and that's one thing you can give him is he's gonna be in that motherfucker throwing down.
I just wish. Cool. Yeah. So and I know people are all for the mosh, and there's people that surprise me that join the mosh pits. You know, like what? But I feel like if you're gonna see a metal show, you should expect it and not be a bitch about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you don't want to, if I understand you want to be up front and be closer to the sound and hear it clearer, but if you don't want to be a part of the mosh pit whatsoever, stay in the back.
Depending on venue, I would say.
Well, I'm just
like
with the lift.
Yeah, okay, the lift. Yeah, I mean that's
any venue.
That's a given. Like
any
really?
venue that size, specifically a small bar setting, and if there's a stage, you know, if you don't want to be a part of the mosh pit, if you're gonna be a bitch about, just stay in the back.
Yeah, or the sides. You can.
So
I'm
watching, like as I'm recording, I'm watching people, or if I don't want to be a part of the mosh pit, I stay in the back and watch people and they get hit like. They had that look in their face like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, why the fuck are you at the show? Why are you here?
Well, you know, like, so there's the stage, right? There's the stage. Here's the back of the stage, and then the mosh area, right? Off to the side are those two big speakers.
Yeah.
And behind each speaker, on this side, on the left, if you're standing on the stage looking out, behind that speaker is like a bench.
Yeah.
And then off to the right is like this cage. And then behind that is like the merch table or whatever. Mm-hmm. People stand on that side all the time. And are totally like, okay. Like being there. Like I've done it. I've stood on the side. On both sides.
I'm not
I've been on stage watching people like...
It's like... If you're gonna...
It's fine. Like it can be done. Like just do it. You know?
Yeah, it can be done. But just know that at some point in the night, especially if the band is hard, it's going to be... mosh pit that's going to eventually hit you.
Well, no, yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to be standing in the front, yes. If you're off to the side...
It might happen, it might not, but there's a high chance it will.
Yeah. But especially in the front, like, there's no...
I mean, especially when you guys do Face, you know, Face the guy in that guy in that banana suit was hilarious.
I think that was our friend Carl. He had fun. He had a lot of fun.
And he was drunk.
Yeah. Yes,
Drunken banana suit wearing motherfucker.
That motherfucker. Dude, my girlfriend and I, so she loves watching like Shark Tank.
Those kind of shows like that.
Shark Tank, MasterChef Junior, like all those like fun competitive shows like The Voice and stuff like that. And here's the fucked up thing. I hate watching TV. I hate it. I hate not doing anything and just like droning out. I hate it. But like she has this little magical power where like I'll just be like walking by and like seeing her watch the show and I'm like, this is gonna be stupid. And then like 10 minutes later and I'm like, all right, so we like this character, but we fucking hate this character. And then I'm sitting there just like dialed in.
That's why reality shows became so popular.
I hate it.
So that, and then
I'm so mad at myself for getting into it every time.
Well, that's why we watch YouTube. That's why we watch any videos in general. Like you're interested in their story.
But see, the YouTube videos I like to watch are actually like, and nothing on like those shows. Right. But like to me, like I watch like tutorial videos. Like I learn something, and not to say that you don't learn something from these shows, right? I just feel like I just drone out, you know.
Well, the part of it is like with these reality shows, they get people who you can relate to personally, like and you could be the person that's hating on that person, you know.
Yeah.
And like, man, if I was there, that bitch be done.
I will say though, like watching Shark Tank is kind of fun, to watch because
like see the ideas that people have tried to come up with that fail or succeed. Typically on shows like that, though, like they usually only go on there for the exposure, not to actually. I mean, sign a deal with the sharks.
I've actually wanted to. I had the idea years ago for Tamir to go on like America's Got Talent, just for the exposure idea of like, oh, let's say we don't make it, but let's say we get to like an audition thing that it's on broadcast television and thousands of millions of people see it. They seen Tamira, like. Well,
that's like the same thing that happened to with from American Idol that I forget his name. There was that Chinese guy that was on there. Like, talk to me, tell me your name. He sang that Ricky Martin song.
No.
So because of that, and he obviously didn't make it past the first step.
Right.
He had he didn't have the vocals. He didn't have the dancing and choreography or anything. So like but he admitted, it's like, yeah, I'm not trained in anything whatsoever, but the novelty of it, he had. So a record company signed him, and he had, I think, $1 million deal because of that. He was, I believe, an engineering student.
That pseudo upsets me. Like, I hate.
Well, it's the same idea, like Kickstarters, right?
Sure.
Potato salad. You know that story, right?
No. The
very first potato salad, like, so now you go on Kickstarter, there's going to be a bunch of different types of, I want to try to do this potato salad. But the very first one, I don't know if it was intended to be a joke or not, but he made a shit ton of money from Kickstarter to make a potato salad for himself. The campaign was, I want to try to make a potato salad.
And now he has millions of.
What was it? So we'll look this up real quick.
Dude, it's the what upsets me is like the Catch Me Outside girl. like she was on Dr. Phil and just said that one sentence or whatever, and she was on that show, and then now she makes like a shitty hip hop rap song, and she has millions of dollars. And I'm sitting over here with my band and friends and my own thoughts, trying to grind and make music for millions, and she already has it.
So this was the original one. So I think he only wanted like $10. Yeah, he only wanted $10. He made $55,000.
He wanted $10. That's awesome.
So basically, I'm just making a potato salad.
I
haven't decided what kind yet.
And people just threw him money.
Yeah. He's got almost 7,000 back. This was back in 2016. This was the first time this was the first one.
He's got 6,900 backers.
Yep, he had that much. Yep.
Like 600,911 people that were just like, yep.
Also, this happened in 2014.
And those numbers are from 24 or those current.
These were the end after it was done, after it completed. This is what he got.
Jesus Christ.
He got all that money. I think he probably, some tax was probably taken out.
I'm sure.
But still, that's $55,000 for a $10 goal.
I can't even be mad.
So, the tiers here, though, is crazy. So, with your help, we'll be on our way to a successful potato salad. You will get a thank you posted to our website, and I will say your name out loud while I'm making the potato salad.
And you don't eat like
$1, $1.
Do they get the potato salad?
Nope. So pledge $2 or more, receive a photo of me making the potato salad, a thank you post to our website, and I will say your name out loud while making the potato salad.
I'd be a little upset.
$3 or more, receive a bite of the potato salad.
Oh, okay. All right. So if you pledge, okay. All right. So there is levels to this. All right.
So $5. So deluxe package. Choose a potato salad appropriate ingredient to add to the potato salad. So
do you get? So then they
receive a bite of the.
One bite.
Platinum level. Hang out in the kitchen with me while I make the potato salad.
For the $10.
$25. Receive a potato salad themed hat.
And a bite?
With a bite of the potato salad, a photo, so you get to go there and hang out.
$35. $30.
Yeah, so that's
Wait, hold on. What's the 30?
25. So 35, the homage T-shirt. Receive a limited edition T-shirt designed and printed by Columbus, Ohio T-shirt company, Homage. Also receive a bite of the potato salad.
There's more.
Yeah, so $50 or more. Receive a recipe book with potato salad recipes inspired by each country where we have a backer, along with a bite of the potato salad.
With one bite. I think that's the most funniest part.
$110. The platinum potato. Receive the recipe book, the shirt, and the hat, along with the bite of the potato salad, a photo, and a thank you. Blah blah blah. There was there was a different $20. It was only for 4 backers, I guess. Potato Man. Receive a potato salad themed haiku written by me.
Oh my God! You get it, and a bite of the salad.
Your name carved into a potato that will be used in the potato salad.
That you get a bite of.
This one, yeah, you receive a bite of the potato salad. But what's weird?
I think I'd be mad that I don't get the whole salad.
Or your own like personal salad delivered to you.
You just get one bite. How do you receive the one bite?
I have no idea. So stretch goals. I will make 4x as much potato salad. I know $40 isn't 4x. 10, well, whatever. I know, blah, 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 but you guys have earned it. Pizza party at
for $75
for stretch goals.
Ooh,
$100. I will try two different potato salad recipes. Two different ones
that you get a bite of.
Yes. Stretch goals.
Oh, there's more.
The update number 3. $250 stretch goal. Better mayonnaise from the natural food section. $300. Call a chef to get a better recipe. $350. Make way more potato salad and probably do a third recipe.
I want to know. I want to know how many people called the chef, like paid $300 to call the chef to give him a better recipe.
Well, so this is not what they're paying him. So basically, these stretch goals is if he makes that much from these backers,
okay,
this is what he'll do.
Oh, I got you.
So it's not guaranteed for any of these guys.
So stretch goals. All right, so now we're going higher.
Yeah,
okay.
So $1,000. I'll do a live stream of the potato salad making. So I'm guessing he did that. I didn't watch it. So at $1,200, I'll pay someone to film a thank you video for all of my backers, which is generous, you know.
Sure.
$3,000. My kitchen is too small. I will rent out a party hall and invite the whole internet to the potato salad party. Only $10 and above will be allowed in the kitchen. The internet loves potato salad. Let's show them that potato salad was internet. And that was like the last update he did in 2016. I guess. I don't know.
That's
or 2014.
Hilarious.
Or maybe one of these videos is one of his updates. Like he last updated August 16th, 2016. So a stupid, silly idea made a ton of money. So now, go through Kickstarter. There's a bunch of them trying to bank off that same idea, but nobody gives a fuck anymore. It was a novel idea the first time. I still can't believe this guy made that money.
I think that's why I'm laughing so hard is like the ridiculousness of it.
It's like, yeah, so let's do a quick... Oh, I hate when they do those kind of search bars. But anyways, potato salad. Look at that.
Ooh, fried rice. I like fried rice.
There's more to life than potato salad. So that's why it came up in the potato salad search, because he made sure. But these people, look, 2 backers, 6 backs. No one cares anymore. It was a one-time novel idea. Oh, okay, so this one has 320. Because the astronaut, you know, I don't know. People are weird. The money that people put into...
Dude, I can do one for drumsticks I buy from Hy-Vee.
Look at all these funding unsuccessful for potato salads.
All of them are unfunded?
Yes.
So they tried to do the
same thing.
The
same idea, whether it was potato salad or something related.
That dude did it!
Apple would
or wings, but like...
It was canceled. Funding was canceled. Canceled. Because they knew they weren't going to make that their goal.
Oh.
All this. Canceled. Unsuccessful. Crazy.
That's so funny.
I think so I watch. I don't know if you heard of iDubbbz.
No.
So he's done these Kickstarter fails, basically videos.
Okay.
And so I watched some of them, and there are a lot of people coming on Kickstarter, coming on to Indiegogo, asking for money from people to pay for the equipment so they can start their own YouTube channel.
What?
And the reward they'll get is a thank you.
What?
Or they go on there asking for money so they can have a gaming computer.
You know what the worst is? Is when people go into like Kickstarter or whatever asking for like rent money.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, really?
Like, people actually do that on the GoFundMe.
Yeah, GoFundMe.
Like I don't think you can do that. They probably do it purposely. Like they'll say, "Hey, you'll get a thank you if you help me do this on Kickstarter," but GoFundMe. I mean, the most successful GoFundMe stuff is people like if they have a child that has a rare disease or something, they need help with medical bills.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It doesn't always work out.
I'm thinking of like those like
hey, help me pay my rent.
Yeah, just like literally just help me pay my rent. It's like, really? No.
Well, in some places it makes sense. Like San Francisco, the rent there is extraordinarily high.
Yeah.
These people, even like programmers that
there.
Oh, these programmers make $90,000 a year and they're still homeless.
What? How?
That's
how expensive it is? Dude, leave.
They can't make that kind of money anywhere else then.
I guess.
It's tough. Like you have to have some sort of balancing act.
What? They make hold on, what was that number again?
So they can make $90,000 a year and still be homeless. There are actually parts in San Francisco where they have tents up for all these homeless people.
Who have?
They make that they get up in the morning for work and leave, make that money, and go back to their tent. Yeah, they have a big old park for that.
You're fucking kidding me.
Nope. And it's probably worse now.
I'll live.
Especially now that we still haven't had any like real new bills that passed to help out what's going on with COVID and everything.
Right.
There's actually been ever since.
I guess there's
after July. After July was over, there's evictions started happening.
No shit. Jesus Christ. Dude, this whole COVID thing. And just like, dude, I really
we won't get political, but what is your thoughts? This will be like the last thing we'll talk about tonight.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on anti-maskers?
Silly.
So for you,
and I only say that because it's like to me it's like a respect thing. It's like, dude, we're in a pandemic. There's some people who don't even believe that this thing is real.
They still don't, even though we have over 100,000 deaths.
Right. And like there's some deaths that they don't attribute or that are like cardiac arrest, and they're like, nope, it's COVID. I'm talking about the actual real.
That's why I just mentioned 100,000, not 150.
Right. But like the actual COVID death cases, right? Where it's like, this motherfucker's real, and people are sitting there bitching and moaning that they
put on a mask is infringing on my freedom.
It's infringing, dude. I'm not going to go into that. I don't know. That's not. I don't think that's something I can get into. But like, for the story I have, but like, it's just like, dude, for the respect of other people and for yourself, like, it's one of those things where like, if you don't wear a mask, and I potentially catch it because of you, and I die, or somebody I love dies, that's on you. Not you, but like that person.
Exactly.
Like that's on you. You know.
And that's like, it's weird. So like,
it's a respect thing. Wear the fucking mask, dude.
So like, there's been a lot of memes. There's been a lot of pictures and people talking about. It's like living in South Korea for a long time. People out there, if they have a cold, even just having a cold, they'll wear a mask all day long.
Well, isn't like over there just like smoking fed? Like,
well, not even. Like, so some people wear a mask every day because they don't want to inhale into the, like, have a lot less inhalation of cigarette smoke.
Sure.
There's but most of the time when you see somebody wearing a mask all day, it's because they have a cold.
Yeah.
And they don't want other people catching it.
That's respectful, sure.
It's in Japan, South Korea. I don't know about China specifically, but probably there too.
Wasn't like over there just like horrifically populated?
Well, in China, yeah. So it's a little. So yes.
And I don't know. I'm asking, I guess. Like,
yeah. So they have a lot. China has more population. I think about the same amount of people there that we have in the States or more.
Damn.
China's bigger.
Sure. Yeah, that
Just
makes
like
sense.
India has a huge population too, but theirs is for different reasons. I won't get into it.
Fair.
It's
fair. Hey, it's this whole thing is just
well, not because of COVID. Just their population is high for religious reasons. I think they have more kids is a good thing, or having more kids means more free labor.
Yeah,
that kind of idea.
That's also wild.
And that's why that's why there's still people here in the States that have family of 5 or 6. That's one, they can have the kids do the chores for them.
Yeah.
And 2, tax return season is amazing. More kids you have, the more money you get back.
Yeah, but now you have 5 kids to take care of and use that money to take care of them.
Well, some of them do the minimal amount of effort.
Oh,
that's good enough. Good enough for the government to give them food stamps, give them WIC, which is women and infant children. They get a check to buy milk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They get all the self help from the government, and still get a tax return. So my tax return is pretty good usually, but typically when I get the tax return, the money is gone instantly because I'm paying bills. I'm playing catch up.
Yeah, but you're also being smart about it.
If I was really being smart, I would have used one of the years of the tax returns. I would have used it for the divorce.
True.
But there are some years where I'll do that, but that video game just came out. Or I want to watch this movie, or I like food too much. I'm gonna go eat out all week. There are sometimes, as trashy as this sounds, sometimes I like to treat myself to Buffalo Wild Wings and just go crazy, buy a bunch of wings, as garbage,
I love how you're just like, yeah, it's all I have left, or you know what I mean, like I'm treating myself. It's like, dude, yeah, you get that. You do
once in a while,
I'll get to have that.
So I do it specifically to get the spiciest level. That way, the next day I'll have all day to recuperate.
I do not understand that. You crazy motherfucker. I literally don't understand it.
Well, that's why the next food video you're gonna be in it.
Oh no.
You and Joe.
That's fine. I'll do it. Do you have milk?
Always have milk.
All right, cool.
Just I still.
Do you do it for yourself? Do you actually
Yeah, I eat it.
Okay, all right.
I eat it with you guys.
No, I know, but I'm saying
I just do it for fun. I eat it a normal day too.
But is it hot? Is it spicy for you? Is it
There's some of them. It's like the video that I did with Joe and Matt and Xander, the 2x spicy, super spicy ramen.
Okay.
That hurt.
He's like, I need milk.
I was the only one to finish it. That's how spicy it was. Joe couldn't even.
Where was the what is the cutoff that you're that even you were nope, fuck that.
Well,
that you're comfortable with you know what I mean?
I can eat ghost pepper burgers. That's no problem.
Jesus Christ.
It's tough. A straight up ghost pepper, I can sort of handle for a while. It's once it gets past that, it's tough. I've eaten the Carolina Reaper and died. My lips were numb for 5 hours.
Oh,
and the funny thing is, when I cooked it, I knew it was gonna be extremely spicy because, whatever that scale that they have.
Also, I'm sorry to interrupt. Am I too far away from the mic?
No, you're good.
All right, cool. Sorry, go on.
I'm just a weirdo. I think I'm singing.
Fair. I'm watching you, and I'm like, oh shit, am I too far away? Should I be up here or?
Well, because we have the 2 mics, you can still hear. But typically, if you're like this, you can hear.
Doing ASMR, talking about spicy foods.
Spicy foods.
Spicy foods.
We like it. Our assholes don't.
Gonna shit your brains out later.
It's more like liquid fire coming out of your asshole.
Dude, I remember one time I worked at the same place Chris did, and one of our coworkers, who was now our friends, he had this dude could literally eat the ghost pepper shit and have no problem. He had the sauce that he would just drizzle all over his food, and he would just eat it no fine. And he was like, "You guys want to try it?" And I was like, "Sure." And he's like, he literally just put one
little drop,
and
you were dead.
dude, it hurt so bad. And like it literally hurt so bad, and like immediately after breakout over and we went back to work, I was on the toilet and just like,
No,
dude, I was like almost tears. I was like, ow.
I felt like your skin was going raw, right?
Dude, it hurts so. The one fucking drop, and this dude is just fucking drizzling it all over.
Insane.
Oh, dude,
The funny thing is, like, because I eat so much spicy, like a lot of times, like I overdo it, and then I actually have diarrhea, but not like the. So like when people get serious diarrhea, it's not because of viruses, like the bacteria, whatever.
Right.
And then it lasts for a long time. My diarrhea is like maybe for a couple hours because I overindulge in sugar or spicy, and like, no matter what it is, it hurts.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Diarrhea hurts.
Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes I'm just an idiot, and it just comes out, and then the next time I go take a shit,
pee out of your ass.
Yes, exactly. Basically.
You ever seen Grandma's Boy?
Yes.
And that scene where he's like, "Dude, I gotta pee, man." And he's like, "Yeah, just go behind the alley." And he's like, "No, I gotta pee out of my ass." It's like
it's such a funny movie.
Dude, it is a golden movie.
Right, so going back to the mask, in Asia.
Oh yeah, sure.
They wear it out of respect because they don't want other people to get sick. So the idea, like, if you wear a mask, you'll die because you're, breathing out, what you're breathing out, you're breathing that right back in. It's like, no, that's not how it works. There's a reason why the mask is made the way they are. And the air comes, you blowing in and blowing, breathing in, breathing out through the sides as well.
Okay, yeah.
And there's enough on the front that you can still breathe.
Yeah.
And these people, it's like, there is people. And you've seen those Karens, those Kyles, whatever.
Karens.
They'll go out there saying, I have a medical problem. My doctor says I can't wear a mask. From what I've seen, little amount of research I've done, the thing that's saying, there's no such thing as a doctor that would ever say you can't wear a mask.
Dude, I literally have asthma.
And you'll wear a mask.
Like, I have an inhaler I have to carry with me everywhere. And so at my job...
I was told you recently started mandating that you wear a mask.
It is a mandate that we wear masks. I have asthma, and I wear the mask. Sure, some hours of the day it's like, ooh.
After a while, yes.
But you also do get used to it too.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you have to, And it's one of those things where I'm gonna wear the mask because I would feel so fucking shitty about myself if I gave it to somebody else.
Or if you just got somebody else sick or gave somebody a cold that you didn't realize you had.
Right. Like, even that. It was just like, I would feel so shitty that I did that to that other person. It's like, dude, wear the fucking mask.
What's that story? Like, there was that in the early days of the COVID. In the early days.
Like 7 months ago.
Do you remember that story of that there's that guy, that business owner here in town that had COVID, but that he was just sick, and he still went out to work, went out to Walmart and stuff. And his goal was to, hey, his intention behind was say, COVID is not that big of a deal, because we didn't know much then at that point.
Yeah.
But it backfired because he went out knowing he was sick.
So he had it.
He thought he had a flu.
Oh no.
He still went out to work, still went out and met people, shook their hands and stuff like that.
And you know what, like
when you have a flu and you have a temperature, you're no matter what, you're supposed to stay home.
True.
Drink your liquids.
Yeah.
Recover.
Yeah.
So at first when he posted stuff like that, and then people were replying like, "You're a scumbag for even going out." But people were like, obviously it's SJWs, going out there, going above and beyond.
Cancel culture is.
But
but whatever.
Then he eventually got tested, and he found out he had COVID.
It's like now you gave it to like.
So yeah, it's now he's not apologetic for it. Basically, at that point he wasn't apologetic because we didn't know the severity. It's like, well, people don't understand it. So if it gets really bad, you have to sleep in a hospital with a hose down your throat.
Yeah, is that what a ventilator is?
Yes.
Jesus Christ!
It goes down your throat. Just like if you had major accident, and you can't move, they literally, for the catheter, the little hose goes in your pee-pee.
Yeah. Your urethra.
Yeah, you go in your pee-pee.
Yeah.
And that's at that point, like, you're at the point, like, I have small pee-pee. No matter how big it is, I have small pee-pee.
Dude, it doesn't matter how big your dick is. Dude, you were hooked up to a machine that lives for you.
I have small pee-pee.
You have small pee-pee. Dude, real quick, I would love to end this on a cool, awesome note and not COVID related.
Yeah.
I would like to share something with you that I've recently came across, and I think it's super cool just because, like, I'm super into it right now.
What's that?
So last night, I was dicking around, and so this is kind of like usually my fun little setup is like, I have my music room, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been in it, right? No?
That's your new place now.
No.
Or at the band house.
No. So at my house.
I haven't been there yet.
I gotta take you to it, dude.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, my little man cave. So I got my little setup. It's like my music room. I got all my instruments and stuff. But I have my TV and my laptop. My TV is hooked up to my Xbox. And I only played Minecraft on that thing. And like no update. It was like the Xbox 360. No update. Nothing. And I've been building this castle for like the last 3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I started on survival mode, peaceful.
Yeah.
So like no mods or anything. So I just wanted to mine everything with when I get done, the achievement that I did all the work, you know. And then halfway, like 3 years later, I'm like, fuck this. I'm going creative, and that's where I'm at now. So last night, and what I do is, so I play the game while I play it on silent, and I have like podcasts playing next to me on my computer. Podcast, stand-up comedy, just random like guitar videos or just like stuff like that, just like learning stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so there was a video, you know, Rob Scallon at all?
No, maybe.
No. So he's like a YouTube guy, but he's a musician, and he's a metal guy, but he usually has like an 8-string guitar, 7-string guitar, whatever.
That's probably something that's popped up on my feed, but I haven't.
Yeah, so he does these videos where like he'll write songs and he'll post them, but he also does like funny videos where like he'll do like he'll play Enter Sandman, like he'll cover Enter Sandman and then reverse the audio and then play the audio backwards, like it's from front to finish, but it sounds like it's reversed. Like he does fun little shit like that, you know. So that's just kind of his shtick, you know. So this video I watched was he invites people and he learns about different kinds of instruments. So he's a guitar player, right? So this certain video, he invited this gentleman on who's like a guitar historian.
Okay.
And he was talking about like what was the history of what became the modern day acoustic guitar. And they went through, and so they had 7 kind of like benchmarks of like it went from this to this to this to this to this, and
including
then,
the lute.
Yeah, I didn't get that far. I kind of stopped at the first instrument, which really kind of started me on this thing I want to tell you. It's called the oud, I believe is
the
how
oud.
The oud, and it's spelled O-U-D.
The oud.
The oud.
The oud.
The oud. And it's an Arabic.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah, right. The fucking crank thing. But it's like have you ever seen it? It's like that short. It's like this long, and it's like that bowl-like shape on the body, and it's got like this long of a neck, and like the neck is like this. It's straight.
So it's like the precursor to the lute, then.
Yeah. So like and then that was kind of like the first iteration of a guitar, right? But it was like the neck is like this long. It's literally like so fucking short. So the neck is like this long, and then the head of it is like the bent back, straight thing, whatever. And it's an Arabic instrument, and I love Arabic music, like that desert sounding like shit. And he started playing it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do research on this. So I looked up the oud and listened to music on it. And then while listening to music of the oud, I came across this thing called the kanun.
The kanun.
The kanun, I believe is how you pronounce it. And the kanun is like a lap instrument. It's a stringed lap instrument. Like it sits in your lap and you play like you play it and you have these like on each finger, I believe the pointer, you have like a ring on, and then you have this like long stick. A stick, or it's like a flat, it's like a pick, but it's like long. And you stick it through the ring, and you can on both fingers, whatever. And I watched this guy, this certain guy, play his album of his music with the qanun. And it's the music that he wrote for using this instrument was so beautiful and majestic. I got so sucked into it. I literally it was one of those things where it happened last night and I didn't have enough money because he had music on iTunes, that album that I watched him play on iTunes, and I didn't have enough money till today to buy the album. So literally today I bought the fucking whole album, and it was live. Everything he posted on that video on YouTube was on that album live of him playing it, and I bought it. It's so cool. I'm so sucked into this thing, and I want to get one, right? So I looked up how much a qanun is, and this motherfucker is $1,400.
Woo!
Woo! You know how much the oud is? A general oud, a good one, is $300-$400. Yeah, I want both of them.
I mean, it's about the same price, going, say, if going from a Squier to a Gibson, from a Fender to a Gibson. Gibsons are pretty pricey.
Dude, honestly, all three of those guitars you just mentioned are probably in the same price range.
Yeah.
Honestly, good ones are in the.
So let's say you want to
$400 to $3,000 range is the range you were gonna start with is $400.
Yeah, except you want to get a basic Fender Squier, you're gonna be on that. Yeah. Sometimes you get even the Squier Juniors, the $200, whatever it is.
Dude, it's just.
It's not really worth getting that because the sound is not going to be so great, even if you have the right strings.
Dude, the guitar I play right now, I think we bought at a pawn shop for $150. And that literally has been the guitar I've played for, we bought it 6 years ago.
Mm.
And it was the guitar I recorded the first EP, Before It All Went Quiet, and our new one.
And what you do for live shows, is that the one with the
bats? The live shows, that guitar. $150.
They probably didn't know what they had. Cause I've seen other people with videos on YouTube that have that similar, not the exact one, but at least with the neck with the bats on the fretboard.
Yeah, the Schecter.
Yeah,
dude, Schecters are really I love my Schecter.
Yeah, so Schecters in general, it's tough. They also range pretty low to high.
Yeah,
with their stuff too. Fender is usually low to mid pricing.
Fender? Yeah, oh yeah.
They don't get too expensive.
Yeah, I mean they can, but if you just want to buy the base Fender guitar to jump into it is
it's
pretty cheap.
Gibson, even a bass guitar is expensive.
Yeah, they are.
There's a reason for that.
I've never been a huge fan of Gibson.
Well, just imagine even if you let's say you had a family heirloom with a 60s Gibson guitar, that can sell that for good money.
I could. I recently actually was gifted, and actually I should say so I have two uncles on my dad's side that know I'm a musician. They've known it for years, and they both had guitars from when they were kids. And
I think you showed me one of them.
The black one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new one. So the first one,
that was pretty slick.
Dude. So the first one was a Cortez, a red Cortez, which I have no clue what the hell a Cortez is. I've never heard of it, but that thing, I'm sure my uncle got that when he was 10. Right? And so that's
a brand, I don't think they exist anymore.
Yeah, and the actual, if you flip it over and you open it, the back of it, the electronic of it.
Mm-hmm.
So modern day guitars just have the three pots.
Yep.
They call them pots, the two knobs and the volume knobs and stuff. And then it's just wired to the jack.
Yep.
So back then they had a fucking circuit board, an actual circuit board.
That's what you call classic.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, because technically there is a circuit board in modern, but not as big as that one.
Well, I mean, just in guitars, now you just have.
We have those, but there's still. It's
just a
chip
soldered.
there.
Well, it's a soldered wire.
Yeah. Well, it's soldered to the chip.
True. I guess I haven't looked at the pod. The pod? Does it have a chip?
So everything. So to make that sound come out right, it still has some sort of chip in there.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All right.
Not a huge one. So that you had that circuit board in that old one.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally a fucking plate.
Instead of that, it's. Have you seen Raspberry Pis?
No.
They're that big,
okay.
and they're computer
All right. And that holds like all the information of the world.
Yeah. It can, basically.
Yeah, it can.
So,
No, I was making a joke, but yeah, it can.
Yeah, it's like when people make like homemade arcade machines, they use that Raspberry Pi.
No shit.
Yeah.
So
it can play all those like classic arcade games, whatever.
I sorry to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
I was gonna say, so I got the Cortez years ago, and then recently my other uncle, who also played guitar when he was a kid, had a Ventura, and that was the black guitar I showed you.
Yeah.
It was the Ventura, and dude, that's such a. I just love the color of it, the black and gold, and like and I should say both guitars, I restrung them. I actually didn't even do anything electronic wise. I just restrung them, I played them, and they sound great. They, I want to do more.
What's your go-to string brand? Ernie Balls?
No, actually, Diodario.
That makes sense.
Diodario.
I feel like when I was starting to do guitar myself, I would do Diodarios specifically for acoustic guitars, though. Those are great acoustic strings.
I would agree. I started, for electric, I started on Ernie Ball, just because Metallica use...
There's that, and it's more
Ernie Ball.
Advertised than Diodaria.
You can look in the back of the package and look at all the artists that use it, but...
And then I usually, like, for the electric, I would get, like, the Ernie Ball, the Slinkies,
Yeah, yep. But
and they were easy with your fingers,
Well, that depends on gauge, too.
Yeah.
But, recently, within the last 4 years, I switched to Diodario. I like the feel of them, and they play great, so...
I mean, you pay more, but it's worth it.
I actually don't even know how much it cost. I'm just like, all right, Diodario.
So
I like them.
So when I was into it,
Sure.
at the time at least, like let's say a pack of Slinkies, for the
What was it, like $5?
$5, maybe $10, $12. That's it.
For like the nice ones, you know.
Diodara probably like $30, $40.
No shit.
That's how much of a difference in pricing it is.
I don't think I pay that much for strings. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like also, like it's like if we're comparing like the higher end stuff of their stuff,
Right, but again, like.
But yeah, even the Diodara like strings, around $20, $25 maybe.
No way. I'd have to go. Here's the other thing too. I actually don't know. I just walk in, I grab the pack, I scan it, just fly. I don't even look at the receipt. I'm just like, I like Diodario.
So even if it was $50, but you'd be like, okay.
Well, at that point, like I'd see the bill, like I do like look at the bill, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look that high. And then I like, if it would be $50, I'd be like, never mind. Fuck that. It's usually like, I think the most, like if I just buy a pack, usually it's like the most. Like
luckily,
10,
you're playing
10.
guitar. Bass strings are expensive.
Dude, I learned that the hard way.
What did you have to restring Evan and then run up that?
No, well, so what happened was Evan got a bass. It was a 5-string bass, and he wasn't going to use it, or some along the lines of he wasn't going to use it. He was going to let me use it. It was going to stay in his possession, but he was going to let me use it. And one of the strings broke. And usually, what happens is if you break a string, you might as well
do the whole thing.
Yeah, do the whole thing for intonation purposes, and it will sound good. So a string broke, and I was like, well, I'm just going to buy a set. It was 5 strings. I'm going to buy a set. And I go in, grab the pack of 5 strings, and it was like, he's like, yeah, $46. And I'm like,
what?
Never the fuck am I. I'm gonna let you keep that. Never mind. And then I go back to Evan. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Because like I just wanted to restring it myself, and like he's a bass player, so he knows this information. Yeah. So it wasn't me calling him out. It was more just be like, dude, did you know this? And he's like, yeah. Did you not? And I'm like, no.
my brother played bass, and he still knows how to play bass. And that's how I knew. It's because we went to go buy strings for it. Dude. And that's why for his we stuck with Ernie Ball, because that's cheaper than getting anything else.
Fair.
Well, it was really cool, like going to like the different music shops out in South Korea. It's like a different atmosphere compared to going to like, let's say, Guitar Center or going to Rondinelli's or
I love going to Rondinelli's. So what's the experience there then?
I don't know. It's like, so if you go to Rondinelli's, you see a few instruments and you can order something, right?
Sure.
So the one that we went to that was near where we lived at the time, you had rows of guitars, you had rows of violins, you had rows.
Oh, it was just like a whole fucking setup.
Yeah.
No shit.
And you could pick them up, play them, and try them out and everything. And and with that smell of the wood from.
Oh yeah.
It's like. It's heaven.
You brought that up, and I do love the smell of a guitar.
Yeah.
Acoustic guitar, I should say. Like yeah.
I've seen the row of like different brands of acoustic guitars and stuff like that. I mean, as much as I would like to have, I can't think. What's that more expensive acoustic guitar brand?
There's Martin.
The Martin's one,
dude,
yeah.
Holy shit, Martin's.
And as much as I would love to have, I was like, I probably won't get that.
Dude, so it's Martin or Taylor?
Yeah.
So Uncle Ike's had, they had that acoustic room,
yeah.
the humid room, or whatever. They had an acoustic guitar on the wall, behind like glass, like a glass frame.
Yeah.
And it was like intricately, like the body of it had like this intricate, like beautiful, I don't even know how to describe it. It looked amazing. And I was like, just for shits and giggles, I just want to see how much this is. And it was $4,000. And I was just like, I don't even want to look at you anymore. Like, I literally walked away. I was like, nope.
That's why I brought up before, like, like if you had a real classic, like early models of Gibson, and it was legit, you can get like $10,000 for those things.
Now? Oh yeah, for sure. There was a guitar body. If I can explain to you my custom setup that I would love for a guitar, would be. Do you know what Explorer body looks like?
No.
It's like a lightning bolt.
Oh, okay.
Almost.
Yeah.
Right. It's got the point up here. It's got the point down there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I like it because James Hetfield played it of Metallica, and
of course.
Yeah, of course. Metallica's my favorite.
You Metallica.
Yep. That's yes.
And a Tool head.
It's funny because I'm wearing like this like Tool looking shirt, but it says Cats.
Yeah.
And it's got a cat on it.
But anybody who knows, knows you're obsessed with Tool.
Yeah, I'm that annoying Tool fan. But no, so I fell in love with the body, along with the idea of James Hetfield playing it. But he had so my custom guitar would be a 7-string Explorer body, white body, or white or black, it doesn't matter, with gold inlays along the neck, and then gold around the pickups, and then gold bridge with gold hardware like all over. And
then the picture of your waifu in the back.
Yeah, right. But like, and it would be like an actual ESP because that's what James Hetfield plays,
Of course.
Yeah, and because like there's like the LTD, which is like the cheaper version of ESP, but ESP is like the top notch. Like there's ESP, there's and
then this is where say you made it.
Yeah, no, seriously. So I actually, just for curiosity's sake and wanting to get this guitar custom made by ESP, I went into Ron Anelli's and I talked to one of the guys, and I was like, hey, can we do like a quote? Like, what would this cost? And I'm going to go through all the dimensions with you and blah, blah, blah. And it, as a base price, $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
$2,000 for the guitar I want. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Like, once you're able to do shows, once you get popular with your band, that'd be chump change.
That's the goal.
And then you just have an entire room with different versions of that.
that dude, that's the goal. That is the fucking goal.
Yes, the real goal of a musician is for the music, right?
Hell yeah.
But you got bills to pay, so I used to be one of those guys so now this band's a sellout because they're making money and they have a label, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you get older, you realize they're not really a sellout. They're just surviving.
Dude, and I agree. I love to be a musician for the fact of being able to get on stage,
right,
and play the music that myself and my bandmates wrote together for people to hear,
yeah,
and have them enjoy it and want to hear again. And I would also like to get paid for it. Like I would do it for chump change regardless. But I want to get fucking paid for it regardless.
So you want to eventually have this as your only job.
How cool would it be to be able to pay your bills, doing the shit you love? How fucking cool would that be? I did a thing recently, this past Wednesday. I can't really talk about it because it's not released yet. But I was part of something that I actually got paid for. as a
Nice.
musician. And literally, it was just like the guy was just like, "Yo, can you give me your information so I can pay you?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Sure. I wasn't expecting that, but sure.
dude, I wasn't at all." And he was just like, "Dude, I'm gonna pay you," and I'm like, "Oh, holy shit!" Like I actually feel like a
Just like, when I make websites like for people and I get paid for that, like I like doing that and I got paid. It's good.
does that, dude? That feels like you are doing something you genuinely love doing and have fun doing, and then all of a sudden at the end of the day, you're like, "Did I just get paid for that?"
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But on that note, we're gonna cut it here. But so,
This has been a fun time.
yes,
This has been a real fun time.
definitely. It's like, so, just to let everybody know, we're still running the competition. If I can get up to 250 subscriptions, you get a free Black Lives Matter shirt.
Do it up.
Handmade by me. It could be an any color shirt and any color ink.
Subscribe.
I'll even do glow in the dark ink if that's what you need.
That'd be cool too. You could like walk in the dark and be like, "Yep, they still matter."
Yes. Even better, right? Yeah, so subscribe. Make sure to keep an eye on Tamara Devine's website, which
It's Facebook.
is it fair? Is it well? Yeah, Facebook, the social media.
Yeah.
Keep up with them.
Yeah.
Is it fair? I mean, to say, is it a point where you can announce the new name? I've been wearing this entire episode.
So you've talked to the rest of the band, right? They've been on the podcast, correct?
Yeah,
Have you talked to them about this?
I haven't. So that's why is it okay?
That's-
Tamara Devine, keep an eye on them.
Yeah, that's not up to me. So I would say
So
that's not up to me.
like we mentioned, there's going to be big things coming up there for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Whether it's specifically for you to see or for you to hear.
Yeah, we have very cool things coming, and I hope you guys like them.
Especially for fans that have been around since the beginning.
Yeah,
They'll get a nice special treat.
I think they will. I mean, you guys, people who watch this, you guys get a little taste of what we do based on the intro. We wrote the intro to Michael's channel. So if you like that, you're hopefully going to like the rest. So
Yeah. So yeah, and coming soon as well, you'll see Zharbs acting on camera.
behind a mask. Ooh, can I not say that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We won't announce specifically what it is, but he's gonna become a famous actor now.
It's a COVID mask.
Yeah. And last but not least, please keep washing your hands.
Yeah.
And anybody who just so if anybody doesn't know yet, anybody who lives in Dubuque, starting tomorrow, Saturday, August 8th.
Oh, that's tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow.
Oh shit! I started doing that today.
Starting tomorrow, it's a requirement to wear a mask wherever you go in public.
Is that based on?
No, as a mandate now.
Okay, because I from my understanding it was just like whatever businesses could pick. Like,
No, now it's required.
okay, all right, yeah.
And before this, it was they can pick and choose whatever, but now it's required. No matter what business you walk into, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah, and
So,
if you get denied, sorry, bud, walk out, or go get your mask.
Yeah.
They're like,
But-
please.
I mean, if you're only going to be in there for 5 minutes, wearing a mask is not going to be that much of an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, for 5 minutes, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Do it for yourself and do it for us all and the rest of the people you love.
Just to make sure, spread the word. If you want a free shirt, please subscribe.
All right. Hey, thank you again. Thank you again for having me on.
No problem. And